Let's have a look at the evaluation screen. In a Brightspace assignment, so I've opened up my assessment assignments area. I'm looking at my assignment dashboard and I'm going to open up one of these assignments here that I can see has a new submission from a student. So if I was going to be marking, I'd be selecting the title of the assignment, which brings up my submission list, which can be either sorted by user or by submissions. And I can see here that I have a student who has submitted a Word doc in this case, and I can open up the evaluation screen by selecting Go to Evaluation, or if there is a file identified underneath the user's name, I can click on the file and that would open up the evaluation screen as well. You'll notice here that we also have access to the Turnitin similarity report from this same dashboard. So let's click on Go to Evaluation to open up this student's submission. And what we're looking at here is the evaluation screen. Now it's split up broadly into two halves, and you'll see here if you move your mouse over the top of these handlebars, we can left click and drag and resize each of the halves to give more focus to the side that we need. I'm going to start by talking about the left hand side, which is where we are able to see a preview of the student's submission. So if I look here, I can see the student's name. This hasn't been marked yet, hasn't been evaluated. There's the name of the document. Here's the Turnitin score. I can open up the Turnitin report from here. But if I select the title of the document, we will now have a preview of the student's submission loading underneath. Okay, this has just got some placeholder text, but what we're looking at now is a rendered preview of the student's submission, which we'll get as long as the files that they're submitting are Word, PDF, PowerPoint, and Excel. And once we have the preview open, we're then able to use a range of annotation tools. You can see the toolbar above here to start marking up the text. So for example, there's a highlighter tool here, and if I wanted to select a text highlighter, I could then move through parts of the document and highlight those to draw student attention to different parts of their submission. Whether it was paragraphs, individual words, etc., you can go through highlighting. You'll also find that there is a speech bubble tool available. If I click on that, it then wants to know what color I want the comment box, speech bubble, etc. to be. So I could say blue, and what shape you'd like the icon that will appear on the page for students to be. So by default, it's this call out box here. If I select here in the page, at the moment it's selected this cross. Maybe we'll change that to this one. There we go. So there's our speech bubble. And then I can put my important feedback for students in here. And you'll notice that it will sit on the page like this until someone hovers the mouse over the top, and then they can see the comment. Left click and drag, we can move these around if we need to. And then if we were going to put additional comment boxes, notes, speech bubbles, whatever you want to call them, into the text, we go through that same process. Select the note option, choose the color, choose the icon that you want to use. So there's a tick here, maybe I'll use that one. And then put in another comment. So you can put those throughout the document as feedback. Another annotation tool we have access to is a text tool, and that will allow us to click anywhere within the document and start typing. In here, for example, and just as with the comment boxes, we can left click and drag and move those around wherever we like. You'll notice with those text boxes, we also can make some adjustments to how they appear on the page. If there's fill, the size of the font that's being used, positioning, etc. So there are some basic formatting options available for the insert text option. Other types of annotation tools we have available, we've got a line tool which will allow us to draw either straight line, an arrow, for example. So if I wanted to draw attention to this part, or again this part. And then we also have a rectangle tool if we wanted to draw a box around a particular part of the student text. So these are our basic annotation tools that are available for markers to mark up the submitted student document, as long as it's one of the 4 file types that I mentioned before: Word, PDF, PowerPoint, Excel. We also have an undo button, redo. You can print the submission, which will allow you to either print to a local device, or you can print to PDF. So that option is there. We also have a download option, which will allow you to download the student's original document, so no annotations, or we can download a PDF that will include all of the annotations that we're putting in here within it. So you can get both of those via this cloud down arrow icon that's here. And then lastly, we have an option to open this in full screen. So if you don't want to look at this side of the evaluation screen at all, you could select full screen here, and then you can hit escape to jump out of there if you need to. So this left half of the evaluation screen is for the preview of any of the documents the students submitted. And if we find that they've submitted multiple documents, we'll be able to select next to the student name here and see which submission and which file we want to look at within the preview. So you can work within multiple files here as well. So that is the evaluation screen preview. So that's the file preview. And in another clip, we're going to have a look at the grading and feedback options that we have on the right-hand side.